Hello everyone and happy Halloween. This is Danny from the original Mouseketeer, and today I would like to start with a quotation from the wonderful actress Billie Burke. She is best known, of course, for portraying Glinda the Good Witch in the 1939 film version of The Wizard of Oz. Well, she once quipped, "Age is something that doesn't matter unless you are a cheese." Well, throughout my life, I have heard and quite often believed a lot of negative adages about the perils of aging. Well, you know the type that I'm referring to, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or referring to anyone past the age of 60 as being over the hill. In short, we are often led to believe that once we enter the ranks of senior citizenry, that our lives suddenly become just a waiting game. And I'm not talking about peering through the living room drapes in eager anticipation of your Amazon Prime delivery of Centrum Silk. It can be a bit dispiriting to accept the reality that your best days linger or languish far behind you. Adhering to that thought can also generate a lot of stress, particularly if you feel like you have a lot of things that you like to do. Wait, let me rephrase that. Let's say that there are a lot of things that you definitely plan on doing. Those of you of a certain age will certainly get the significance of the inserted photo reference here. Anyway, I feel quite fortunate to be one of those people who quite often forgets to act his age. You know, it usually takes a long pause in front of a magnifying mirror to remind me of my actual age or appearance. And for a few seconds, I tend to think I'm getting some kind of spectral visit from my long-past father. I suppose a benefit of that delusion is that for the most part, age has rarely thwarted my doing anything that I really wanted to do. Case in point, last year on my 70th birthday, I got my first tattoo. And afterwards, when I proudly bared my chest to a group of more mature friends, I was surprised when one of them snidely remarked that it was a frivolous waste of money. I suppose her not so subtle comment suggested that my advanced years prevented me from reaping the full benefits of that investment. But I was not at all dissuaded. In fact, within 6 months, I acquired 2 more tattoos, one on my arm and another one on my back. And every day since, I have enjoyed looking at them. Well, the one on my back does require 2 mirrors to do so, but still. That, however, leads me to the real point of this diatribe. This past May, at my persistent urging, my wife and I purchased our first contract with the Disney Vacation Club. I will at some later date fill you in on the details of how and why, etc. this all came about, but I can definitely say that we are thrilled. Neither of us are prone to living with regrets, but both of us admit that passing up the pre-opening purchase opportunity in the summer of 1992 was a big mistake. My wife claims that the then price per point was about $30. However, my research is correct. The actual rate was $48. But we have never forgotten visiting the old Key West model rooms, scanning the lovely design plans, and learning about the then awesome additional perks that came with membership at that time. One of which was actually free passes to get into the park. I remember that I intensely wished on the brightest Disney star for that magical dream to come true. Well, despite my devout belief in all things Disney, I remember concluding that as two penny-pinching Kentucky public school teachers, we could never, ever afford the investment. What a short-sighted conclusion that really was. I mean, after all, we had already vacationed at Disney World quite a few times, and since that date, we have made innumerable trips to Disney World, sometime visiting multiple times in a single year, and often paying hefty rates to stay at Disney Vacation Club resorts. Three times we actually stayed at the Old Key West Resort. In truth, the expenses for those vacations totals easily into the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But I also want to admit that we do not begrudge a single penny spent on those vacations, because our family made priceless memories there that sometimes to this day still warm our weary hearts and souls. Now, our son Doug, who joined us on every trip and grew up experiencing all the very special magic and special joys of Walt Disney World, is just about the age that we would have been at that first Disney Vacation Club presentation. It's a little bit ironic that today he sometimes grumbles about how he wishes that he could afford to take his own son there. He would like for Drew to experience the Disney magic just as he did. But unfortunately, his son has only visited Disney World once. It was a wonderful 5-night stay at the Beach Club, and Doug's family crammed as much magic into that vacation as any 5-year-old boy could stand. My grandson, who is now 11, sometimes will even ask me about little snippets of memory he has from that vacation. Like, hey, Paul, do you remember that time we went on that big water slide and Grammy kept screaming because it was going so fast? Well, then I'll refresh his memory and give him a few more details about the wonderful day that we had there at Blizzard Beach. Unfortunately, Drew has never been back to Disney World since. So now this senior citizen story comes full circle. We presently possess 120 points at Old Key West. And just like that first tattoo, I have a feeling that I'm going to be wanting more. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that we'll be expecting to get a few more points. But in the meantime, we're sensibly focusing on the immediate future. In January, we are going to have our first welcome home trip to the Disney Vacation Club Resort of Old Key West. Yes, this pair of spry and spirited septuagenarians have arrived at last. We may be 28 years late, but these original Mouseketeers are going to party like it's 1992. And who knows? Maybe with a little pixie dust and some Disney magic, we might even ring in 2042 at Old Key West. So to those naysayers who say that this is an impractical expenditure, that it's a sign of senile waste, or that we're squandering our son's inheritance, I would simply reply that I would much rather bequeath him a return to the enchantment than a dreamless legacy of a few measly $1,000. This is Danny from Original Mouseketeer saying goodbye until next time. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you have anything you'd like to add, I look forward to reading your responses in the comments. So until then, remember, keep on believing those dreams that you wish will come true.